Wonder about the future and how you'll be working and learning? Welcome to You in 2042, the future of work, with your host, Danielle Wallace.
Hello and welcome to another edition of You in 2042, the future of work. I'm delighted today to welcome Dee Surman.
So I'm Dee. I work with Unilever, a consumer packaged goods company, global organization. I've been with Unilever for 34 years. And in that time, I've held a number of roles. I have to say the role I have right now as Global Leadership Development Manager is my dream role.
So with that lens, we've seen so much change in the workplace. What do you think the future may bring?
It's a really interesting question. And I think COVID has really influenced a lot of where things will go in the future. So I think historical paradigms have always been about physically being in an office. And these assumptions have clearly been disproven over the last year. So COVID has demonstrated to companies, leaders, employees that remote working is a viable option versus being in the physical office every day. So I think that's a huge shift. What I expect in the future is that there will be smaller physical offices with far greater flexibility in where and how employees will be working. So that's one thing. When people do come together, the work involves collaboration and team-based activities versus solitary work, which again, historically has probably been the situation for many. And given this new dynamic, leaders will also need to lead and engage with their employees very differently. I do envision a move to a compressed work week, either longer days, let's say Monday to Thursday, or 4 days per week. And being in a global role, I'm exposed to a lot of colleagues around the world, and my colleagues in Europe really embrace the 4-day work week, leaving greater time to support other things like children, elder care, or simply personal well-being. And I hope an outcome of the reduction of the need for large office spaces is the potential to actually leverage that space for affordable housing. So that's my wish.
That sounds amazing. You speak about this future world of a smaller physical footprint, increased flexibility, and then the fact that leaders need to engage differently, more collaboration, more team-based work, perhaps with leading a team within a compressed work week. With those thoughts, what do you think leadership may look like in the future?
Yeah, again, really great question, and one that I've been pondering for a while in my role. So for me, kind of 5 key areas that leaders need to be in order to be future fit. And those would start with, first, leaders need to be more emotionally intelligent. And while I say this, it's critical at all times, self-awareness and awareness of others. To be a future fit leader, really being able to support employees when you might not see them every day, and that kind of thing is really, really key. Second, I would say a greater capability in providing things like performance discussions, constructive feedback, and coaching to employees in a virtual mechanism. Historically, we've done that face-to-face, and you can read body language, you can really engage with people in a different way than we typically do virtually. So again, key capability for leaders. Next, I would say is leading authentically with a lens to things like mindfulness, resilience, and mental well-being, in addition to navigating the ongoing complexity within the world today. It's not going to get any slower or less complex. Fourth, I would say is awareness of employees' styles and motivations, and really how best to connect, either in person or virtually. How do you motivate? How do you get the best work from the folks within your team? And lastly, topic areas like equity, diversity, and inclusion, collaboration, collective intelligence, leading in uncertainty and disruption, and all things digital. Those are the areas that I think are going to be key focus areas for L&D to play, to support, and for leaders to be able to really lead successfully.
Those are great insights, those 5 key points. What I'm hearing you say is this underlying need to be a future fit leader, of that emotional intelligence that comes through with being able to understand people's styles, to motivate them, to lead authentically and with the right skills to navigate this future complex world. With this complexity, what can learning and development do to help?
There's a lot that we can do. So I think the key thing is the learning function needs to be ahead of the curve. We need to be doing things like environmental scans to really understand the trends, how business is morphing, and being agile and flexible in helping us as well as our employees to be able to adapt to those changes. Things like creating bite-sized learning opportunities to learn, especially in the flow of work, supported by other blended learning programs, which move learners from knowledge and awareness into action. I think I've used this word a couple of times, agility. The speed of change in the world today is absolutely remarkable. So strong capability around flexibility, adapting to the changing landscape of the world, of the organizations that we work within, experimenting with new ways of working from a kind of a mechanical systemic piece, technologies and that kind of thing are all key enablers, which we in the L&D function really need to support and enable so that our organizations can thrive and be as successful as possible.
This need for the learning function to stay ahead of the curve, it truly is that need that I'm hearing you say. And coming out of that is the technology to support and bite-sized learning. But I really like that. It's just that strong takeaway of us as learning development need to be ahead of that curve and understand how businesses will morph so we can better support what that future looks like. Thank you so much for these great insights and practical pieces. I'm looking forward to applying these insights into the work world now. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me to participate.